Downtown as Fruits is the first segment of the first episode of the first season of Hey Arnold. I believe there was a pilot before this, but in general, this is an introduction to Hey Arnold, and this is on my long list of TV shows that I grew up with, where I want to revisit the first episode to see what I can remember, to see what the nostalgia is like. I didn't remember this episode, but to be honest, I don't remember that many specific things with Hey Arnold. But that's not to say I didn't watch it a lot. It's more about my memory. Because I did. I used to watch this show quite a bit, and I was really looking forward to this. I will say it was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it, and I have some specific points to praise in a moment. But I will say it wasn't as nostalgic as I would have liked it to have been, because Arnold is not in his usual outfit for the majority of it, and obviously the visual appearance of the way the character looks is part of the nostalgia, but that's obviously not a criticism of the episode, just something that I was aware of when I was watching it, that it wasn't as nostalgic as it could have been, but it was still good. It's about a school play that they're putting on. Helga is in charge of this production, and Arnold and Gerald are dressed as fruit. It's a production about food, and Arnold is a banana, Gerald is a strawberry, and they're on the bus going to the production in their costumes. And my first bit of advice would have been, don't go in your costumes, take them to get changed into, otherwise you're going to have to go home in those costumes, especially as one of them didn't have anything on underneath. And when they're on the bus, they decide last minute that they don't want to face the embarrassment and the humiliation of being in these costumes. I thought the costumes were rather charming, but I can imagine at that age it would be quite humiliating. And they decide, just as they're approaching their stop, that they're not going to get off the bus. And they go downtown. And I won't say exactly what happens, but a case of mistaken identity gets them into a pretty sticky situation that starts out really positive for the characters, but things definitely take an awkward turn for them. And I don't want to say too much about that, but we do have a very strong lesson here that if you have a commitment, you should probably just stick to it, because derailing from the plan is probably not going to end well. Things are going to be a little bit awkward, and obviously for younger children who might be quite tempted to skip school or skip something to go downtown instead, I think that's obviously a pretty strong message, but obviously the moral is something that anybody of any age can benefit from. I think this was a really great introduction as well to a lot of the characters, because obviously the main characters, I don't know if it was all of the main characters, but a good chunk of a lot of the characters I remembered were all involved in this production, and it was a nice way to start things off by introducing us to these different characters, and I thought that was a really good idea. I think the pacing of the episode is really great. We do get a lot of focus, of course, on Arnold and Gerald, but we also occasionally cut back to Helga in the production, and we see how that's going or not going, as the case sometimes is. And I think the pacing there was really great. The whole episode the whole segment of this episode is about, I think it's just under 12 minutes. It might be 12 minutes. So it's a pretty decent length, but it's not too long. I think it was probably the ideal time or the ideal length to tell this story. And I'm actually considering watching more. I don't know why, but when I was watching it, it kind of felt like I was watching an episode of Arthur. It's nothing like Arthur. The animation style is nothing like Arthur. The characters don't necessarily match up exactly with characters from Arthur, but there was just something about it. I think maybe it's the age of the characters and the kind of story that they're telling. And it reminded me of that, and I've already watched and reviewed all of Arthur, and maybe this is the kind of show I'm looking into next. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe not immediately, but certainly in the near future, I might pick up some more Hey Arnold. Was there a Hey Arnold movie? There were two, and I think I must have known that because I never say movie. I always say film, but the words Hey Arnold movie just seemed so natural, and it is called Hey Arnold the movie, so I think subconsciously I was aware of that, but I don't think I've seen it. There's also Hey Arnold the Jungle movie, which I don't think I was aware of, so maybe I'll check out those, and then after that, maybe I'll go back and watch some more of the TV series. We'll see how it goes, but for now, I'm very, very happy to have watched, maybe rewatched. As I said, I don't remember the episode, but I probably have seen it. Downtown as Fruits. Definitely not too bad at all. Maybe not quite as nostalgic as I would have wanted because we're not seeing Arnold and Gerald and a lot of the other characters in their usual costumes very much. But that aside, I thought it was a pretty solid start to the TV show.